Hi, this is Lee at Craftsman Direct, and I am in Durham taking a look at a deck, and a tree hit it, as you can tell. And as you can tell, we got a failed post. It split an inch or two into the band, and that's a recessed band. It's classified as a double because it's outside and this inside that you can see now. So with these two bands, now you can see it, these two bands put together with some nails, and I'd like to add some screws. What I want to do is let's continue this cut here with a sawzall straight across, and let's split the new post like you see here with that depth. It looks like it's more than half, which is 1.75 inches. It looks like about 2, but whatever it is, then we can deep set it. Alright, we can deep set it to probably 7 inches, maybe 8. And once it's down there from the back side, pre-drill a couple of holes, and we can get some through bolts straight through the whole thing from front to back and bolt both bands together to the new post exactly the way it was supposed to be. And what we also could do is we could stop that at 6 inches, and we can actually put a bolt at the 7.5 inch mark, so it would marry up this lower post, which I would really like to do, and get that in one. And then let's get 2 bolts, put a bolt at really high at the 1.5 inch mark, and another one at the 4.5 inch mark, and a third bolt at the 8 inch mark or the 7.5, so you can catch both of the bands. Once you have a plan, you can quote. You know, you have a task, but we also have the second one here. As you can see, it's failed at the same point, about 1 inch or so down, right where the cut line is. And the front side of that assembly would be, we'll put a 1/2 inch carriage bolt, and a second one here, and a third one here. And the third one is just designed to catch the top of this guy, which we'll leave on, and then the other 2 will catch the top of this railing. So let's look underneath real quick and see. And that's going to be harder because you see that's been notched twice so that it's forming that corner, but you can still catch it. The hard part of this job is keeping 1 inch or 2 of that little quarter post run. You can't sawzall cut it now, where I suggest it's right here straight across, because you lose some of it. You need to Dremel tool it out with that saw accessory. Okay, got it. That was tough. But I remember when I was about this tall, and my sister was dating Neil at the time, and I would call out 2 3-digit numbers, 952 and 365, and he'd multiply them in his head in about 3 seconds.
Oh my God.
And I asked him repeatedly for my whole life, I still, how can you do that? And yeah, he sees numbers.
Oh, well, that helps.
I mean, you close your eyes and you see 5 times 4. And I can see 5 and 4 and 20, and it's there. But you can see it. Well, you know, well, just the 3, you know, when you got the first row times the first. The second one, you 0, the 2 zeros. Anyhow, but he's weird. He really is. I know a lot of PE civil engineers since I started this in Durham, and Raleigh especially. And I met one guy that said, you know, I heard about somebody that can do that. And I mean, these are smart. They passed the national board exam. And so, did you want to clean and seal here too?
Yeah.
So we smack in these guys. That's the basically what he told me the test was, is that if you had a party on the deck and it bumps, then it doesn't fail.
Okay.
You know, and you had, you know, maybe 1 or 2 beers too many.
Uh-huh.
But if you're trying to run that way, it won't stop you.
And that's a good thing?
Well, he also told me stories about a buddy of his that actually played on the Clemmons football team in 1967, that they went downtown and had 17 pitchers too many. And
That's a lot too many.
no, these are big guys. I mean, you know,
That's still a lot too many.
but you know, they're 6'6", they weigh 295.
Oh, all right, well.
And construction sites, you know how they have the fences.
Yeah.
And he lined up in a 3-point stance against the whole fence and knocked it down. I mean, he just, anyhow, it's not designed to stop that 300-pound guy from knocking it down. But if, you know, if you're reaching down into the cooler to get the next one, and you get like this, and you do that, it'll stop you.
Right.
And this one's fine because, you know, it passes the push test.
Okay.
And if I was building a deck, you see the city inspector come up here, and he would fail me on your spindles. I think.
Is it too far apart?
4-inch code.
No.
Which is not the end of the world. I mean, obviously they missed that in 2009 or 8 or 7. But, I mean, it's okay. The reason for that is a child's head.
Oh yeah, I could picture that immediately.
And they see the child putting their head in and turning, and
Now we only get it back out.
then they become exhausted, fail, and it lands on their trachea. And, but you'll never have a problem with it. And I've seen them, you know, without the center spindles, you know, major gaps. So, you know, the city cops aren't going to come over here and,
Good.
you know, they won't. I mean, this is it's close, but you know, it was just being out here for 12 years. I could see that quarter.
Right. Obviously.
And what we do is we put a 2x4 between it, which measures 3.5 inches. So basically, if I'm going to start doing this, I'll put a little chunk of 2x4 in here, and I'll put my first spindle there. So it's 3.5. It doesn't come close to 4. It doesn't need to. 3.5 is plenty out to have
You
a
mean
nice
if
deck.
you were gonna build one?
If I was building it.
Yeah.
But what you have is fine, and we'll maintain that 4-inch or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Make it look right. Let me get a size. That's a 12
Yeah, that sounds right.
by 12. Because most people have an aggressive pace of about 3 feet. And
I think 12 by 12 is right.
so basically what I just did is 12 times 12 is 144 or 150. I round everything. So I'm looking at about 3/4 of a gallon here of whatever sealer.
Okay.
And what's left will not finish it. So we have to get 2 gallons, which is the materials estimate on the sealer of whatever 2 gallons is. We don't mark materials up. And if you're out and see something, get 2 gallons of whatever you want us to use.
Okay.
And I don't see any problems. I mean, you know, there's some like this one that I'd like to put a screw in.
But other than that, yeah.
Other than that, it's
Okay.
and it's a nice deck.
Yeah.
It really is. So,
Now this is purely aesthetic.
Yeah,
If you
sure.
were me, would you paint this like white, like the other, like the porches? Just leave it the way it is.
every once in a while I see one painted white. And you don't need to do that because the problem is the cracks here because it accepts water and it absorbs. And but I mean,
Would it?
when you go on Cabot.com, you'll see natural, which basically that's the least transition color. The other one you'll see is cedar. And there's 3 grades not the right word, let's say types. Like in paint, you got gloss, semi-gloss, flat.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
which do I want?
That's taste and preference. I mean, you're gonna look.
Does it not matter?
No, go to google.com
Okay.
and Google decks. And you will see a lot of different decks and colors. And when you see one where you say, oh my God, I love that, then, you know, try to save it and match that color.
Okay.
Paint and stain is the darkest. Darkest meaning it leaves the least wood grain. Semi-transparent is a grade up, which means that it allows you to see a lot of this stuff. You know, there's some people that they think that's pretty. You know, the colors, the shapes, and all the things you see in the wood that makes wood pretty is you know, they like it. And so they will get what they call 2 words that mean the same thing, transparent and translucent.
Okay.
And if you like that, then you would want to get transparent or translucent.
Okay.
And if you don't, but go onto google.com and find the color.
What's the 3rd kind?
Transparent, semi-transparent, and painted. Yeah,
Okay,
and the paint really is, it looks like paint. And when we paint this with a painted stain or seal it with a painted stain, it's going to be that color.
Okay.
You can always go, Home Depot right up here is closed.
Oh yeah.
In Lowe's, and they've got samples there, little pieces of wood that shows you the difference.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good idea too.
Yeah, and they've got Olympic, I think, which is fine. I mean, we've done a bunch of decks in Olympic, not had any problem.
Okay. Well, how much? If the only thing I painted was the front,
Yeah.
how much would I need of that?
Let's go look. I think we got this one under control as far as the plan. And let me get a picture. That's your cat box?
That's her. That's a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't it? Internet. It's got another plastic box like that in there. And
Yeah.
It's got insulation all around the inside. And
Sure.
that, I don't even know what that is, that black piece.
Gosh, it was '97 that for some reason in the communities, once you live here a while, you've got people that you talk to and they said, oh, you got to go see the cat lady in Chapel Hill if you want a cat. For some reason I decided I've always liked cats, and a linesman found mine and the sister of a utility pole and didn't take them to the animal shelters because, you know, the risk of the euthanizations and stuff. And I got the little solid gray guy for the last.
Well, where is this cat lady?
I don't know. I mean, gosh knows. Well, I mean, I could probably find her house.
Oh.
But
is it in the neighborhood?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Chapel Hill. No, it's in Chapel Hill. It's in Chapel Hill. But I don't remember. Yeah, I think. But we need a distance.